You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What is going on, Cover Gang? It is NFL Week 13. We are officially 2/3 through the regular season. At this point, we went back and tallied it up. I am 174 with 5 pushes, I believe, against the spread on the year. Finally hit the 100 mark. That puts me at right at 57.5%. So in this last third of the season, we're hoping to, it's the home stretch right here, hoping to dial it in. Justin, he's coming off his worst week of the year. He went 6-10 against the spread last week, but he's still sitting at right at 53, a little over 53%. So high 50s, that 60% mark is still not out of reach with a few good weeks coming up. So this week, I think that me and Justin we talked a little bit off air, tried to dial it in, realized that, this is kind of make or break time. And we're pretty much on a lot of dogs. Even though last week and 3 weeks ago and all year, favorites, been just covering. We are finally calling BS here and putting our foot in the ground. So in this episode, we will go over all of the games in the 1 o'clock section, and Justin will read off each spread, and we'll tell you how much we're putting on each game.
All right, first up, we got the Chargers at the Patriots. This one right here, man, this is a stinker. What do we do with this? I feel like right away, can't trust either team, especially not the Chargers as huge road favorites. Can't trust the Patriots to cover any kind of sharp number. It's a half-unit kind of game for me, but I will take the Patriots because this line is just too big in Foxborough. I know the Patriots look like they're tanking. They look like they're dead in the water. Chargers got their own set of problems. That defense can't stop anything. They might not need to stop anything because the Patriots can't score either. So it's just a brutal game to bet. I don't like it a lot, but I will take the Patriots +6 because I think that's the better side to be on.
Yeah, I'm going to ride Patriots +6 as well. It is, for me personally, as a gambler, I'm recommending a half unit as of right now because there was reports that came out today that said it would be a miracle. Some inside reporter of the Chargers, it would be a miracle if Brandon Staley didn't get fired. So if I'm gonna put a little bit on the Patriots here. If Brandon Staley makes it to the weekend, Belichick versus Brandon Staley, I will still ride with Belichick in this bad offense to keep it close. Chargers, they haven't blown anybody out all year. I don't know why they're favored by 6 here. So yeah, it is, but as of right now, just a half unit game because Brandon Staley, I just don't know what's going on there. Even the offensive has started not to click with Herbert and Kellen Moore. So, but this could be a spot that Justin Herbert comes out and shows a little something. But I don't know, man. I don't think that Belichick will ever go into a game trying to lose, and this does seem like just too much of a number to bite off at home. So Patriots +6, half unit, just like you.
Next up, we got the Lions at the Saints. The Lions have been wavering a little bit. They've got their block knocked off by division rival Packers on the Thursday night Thanksgiving matchup, and a Thursday 1 o'clock matchup. And the Saints, they may have just lost a grip on their division. So both of these teams are reeling a little bit, and it's at the Saints' home stadium. I like the Saints here, +4.5. The Lions' defense in the past several games has been in the bottom 5 of defenses. They've played awful. I get that this could be a good bounce-back spot for the Lions, but I just can't back a team that's looked pretty bad in the past few weeks, and that 80% of the bets are coming in on the Lions. I don't feel comfortable taking them as road favorites, especially after letting Jordan Love torch them like they did. This defense doesn't look right, and until it does, I'm not backing them as road favorites. So Saints +4.5 is the side for me, regular unit.
Yeah, same. Regular unit on the Saints +4.5. It is Dan Campbell. I still think he's a really good coach. They got a great OC in Ben Johnson. Going in against Dennis Allen, I don't like that. Derek Carr, it looked like he was going to be without Michael Thomas is on IR. That I can't remember his first name. His last name's Rashid. He's the third
Rashid
receiver.
Shaheed.
He suffered a quad injury. He's still I don't know if he's going to play, but Chris Olave, he did practice today. He got a concussion or was in concussion protocol, but he practiced today, so it looks like he's going to get the go. Which Derek Carr really only dumps it off to Alvin Kamara, anyways. But yeah, the Lions, they're showing a little bit of vulnerability. Jared Goff, I don't think that he's the most. He's very streaky. I think that his confidence is a little low right now, and he has to go on the road against a pretty desperate Saints team that has players on both sides of the ball. They are still missing Lattimore, which hurts as well. But yeah, it's just I can't. The Lions on the road with this, like I said, a desperate Saints team. I can't give up 4.5 points. So yeah, regular unit Saints plus 4.5.
Next up, we got the Cardinals at the Steelers. So the Cardinals just got routed by the Rams, and the Steelers continue their streak of luck versus the Bengals. They got a little bit lucky, and here they are. They're laying 5.5 at home with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals coming in trying to steal their cookies. I don't love this game either because the Cardinals, they are who we thought they were. Even with Kyler back, they get a little bump, but I wish if this game were 6.5, I feel great. 5.5, I don't know so much. I think it's a regular unit for me. I'm taking the Cardinals. I am a little worried because of that firing of Matt Canada. The offense they got a lot of yards gained in that game versus the Bengals, which is completely different than we could say for the whole season for the Steelers, but it's just too many points, and I think Kyler, you'll see his spark keep the Cardinals in this game, and I think they'll spice it up with some run plays for Kyler, which I think the Steelers, they have a weakness against, quarterbacks that scramble outside the pocket. So I like the Cardinals plus 5.5, just regular unit though for me.
Yeah, Sharp's got the best of this number. It opened up at 6. Best you can get across the board's 5.5 right now. I like the Cards here as well. It's I do think that with Warren and Najee, they both looked pretty well against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is a lot better than Arizona's, so it just kind of comes down to Kenny Pickett and going against his secondary. Cardinals secondary is not that good, but do you believe in him to pick them apart? And I'm with you. I believe that Kyler with company can keep it interesting. I think it comes down to the fourth quarter. And I don't trust Kenny to just put the game away. So they did finally get over 400 yards of offense. Okay, good job. But you put up 16 points and the Bengals were punting just about every series. So yeah, regular unit Cardinals plus 5.5 just because of how abysmal they looked against the Rams, and maybe Kenny Pickett, he did catch a little bit of fire at the end of last year, so maybe he's just his time of year. But I don't see it enough to lay 5.5 and go with the Steelers. So I'm with you on this one as well.
All right, next up, we got the Falcons at the Jets. And what did we say about the Falcons? You never bet them as road favorites. We've been pretty sharp on that all year. I think it continues right here, even though the Jets they just look dead in the water. They have no offense. You were dead right about Tim Boyle. He looks god-awful, but I just think Jets plus 3 is the side. The Falcons have been horrible on the road. Desmond Ridder is a completely different quarterback. He turns into a pumpkin on the road. So I think the public's going to take the Falcons here as well. So I like the Jets plus 3 when everybody's counting them out. And I think you said something about Aaron Rodgers he's practicing now, right?
Yeah, he was on the practice field. He wasn't in pads or anything. It's kind of like what he's been doing on the sideline or whatever. Just kind of, he has a jersey on, has a helmet on, just throwing the ball or whatever. But he's, I think he's gonna play at least a game. He's got 3. It said like a 21-day practice, so they're not expecting him back for another 3 weeks.
Right. That's still insane. Like.
Yeah, 11 weeks in, he's back on the practice field, but he's not practicing. He's just on the practice field. So
right.
but I mean, just for him to be out walking, throwing, whatever, not really under center or taking snaps and like moving too aggressively, but he'll get there. He's made progressions this whole time. The Jets offense is just so abysmal that they've lost a lot of these games they should have won, like against the Raiders a couple weeks ago, and so they're pretty much out of it at sitting at 4 and I think they're 4-7 right now. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll lean Jets here +3, regular unit game just because it is hard to take Atlanta as a road favorite, but I will I'll ride with you on this one again.
I'm still confused why, like, no Simeon, like you said. I mean, I thought, it would, if Boyle, like, they thought he was the
It
guy.
reminds me of that guy on like the Fairly Odd Parents that had the thing on his face, like Tim Boyle. I think that it like talked or something. It was a boil.
Is it just the name, or he reminds you of it? Is it just the name?
I don't know. He's gross quarterback. Like, why are you out there? I tried to tell you. I was like, yeah, I'm with you on Jets +10, and I put some money on it. But
Hey, you said
I was like,
DeVito
dude.
was not a quarterback, and he is winning, bro. Nah, I mean,
Oh,
it was against the
yeah.
Patriots. That just, I'm not
But
surprised.
he's a rookie. Like I hadn't seen, nobody has any tape or anything on him. Like Boyle has been in the league and he is like was brought up from the practice squad. He's not an NFL quarterback whatsoever. But DeVito has impressed me some over
It's
the past 2 weeks. I like it though.
Yeah,
Go Italians.
it's always a mystery. You never know with some of these rookies. But all right, we're aligned on it. Jets +3. Next up, we got the Colts at the Titans. Classic rivalry, and usually the Titans own them in this spot. The value in the line has been sucked right out of this one from +2.5 down to 1 now. The Titans are only a +1 dog at home.
You still get a 1.5.
You can get a 1.5. All right.
Well, the Titans.
Well, we're gonna.
It's only two books showing it, but
Yeah,
get
grab
it.
that while you can. It's still the value side. The Colts, everyone's going to back the Colts in this spot. I know Gardner Minshew has looked pretty much like a serviceable starting quarterback this year. It's been kind of shocking, that defense. They've held it together. And like you said, their coaching, their play call is really good this year, but this matchup is always Titans heavy at home in this spot. I like the Titans. I think you'll see a lot of people take the Colts here on the road, and I'm not buying it.
yeah, Minshew having to go to Tennessee. I think he doesn't play as well as he did last week against the Bucks at home. Titans, Will Levis, it's hard to get a read on him because he is so inconsistent. He'll make a couple throws and it's like, man, dude's got an arm, but it'll be like a screen pass or a little dump off pass, and it's like, what are you doing out there? So it's hard to get a read on him, and I really do like Shane Steichen and what he's able to do, but I just think that this is a letdown spot. I think he has his team in the playoffs as of right now. I don't think that would be a good watch for them, so I'm kind of pulling for a Texans or a Broncos one. They play each other, one of those two to grab that spot, or even the Bills. They can come out hot after the bye, but. Yeah, it's not a double unit play or anything. It's just a regular unit, but I am going to take Titans +1.5 at home, and I think they'll win the game outright.
I think they will too, but yeah, down to that number, it's almost like you could bet the money line if you want, but I'd still would take the +1.5 because you just never know. But
Just in case, never know.
You never know with football. Next up, we got the Dolphins at the Commanders. All right, so. Dolphins blow out the Jets. The Commanders get blown out.
Both coming off rest.
Yeah, both coming off rest because they played, Thursday and Friday. I think the Commanders is definitely the side here. They have the passing offense to keep up with this Dolphins team. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is their secondary is just not good. It's atrocious, and that's not something you want to be weak at facing the Dolphins, but Dolphins aren't as good on the road, and Washington is a formidable team, and Dolphins, they don't really blow out teams that are middle of the pack or better, so I think Washington is pretty much middle of the pack. I think that game between the Commanders and the Cowboys was actually, it was coverable. Like, it was a lot closer. it just got blown wide open in the late in the third quarter. I think that game, the score doesn't really tell the story. Like if you were watching the game, the Commanders were keeping it close, pretty good, but Dallas at home has looked unstoppable. So I'm not letting that, scare me off of this Commanders team right here in this spot. So give me the Commanders plus 9.5. Is 9.5 still out there? Actually, let me see.
Yep, you still get 9.5.
Yeah, I'll take Commanders plus 9.5 at a unit and a half. We'll do that.
Yeah, it's a double unit play for me. I love this game. Like for the reasons you said, Miami just not as good on the road. They lost their best pass rusher in that game against the Jets. He tore his Achilles. I think his name's Jason Phillips or whatever. So Sam Howell and Eric Bieniemy, I can see them staying in this game. Not calling an upset by any means, but yeah, just they got embarrassed on national TV on Thanksgiving Day. A little bit of time to prep, but yeah, they should be able to hang around with this Dolphins team. So yeah, double unit play, Commanders plus 9.5.
All right, next up, we got the Broncos, the red hot Broncos at the Texans. Heartbreaking loss for the Texans. Broncos country still riding that wave. I like the Broncos here at plus 3.5. I get it. It should be a letdown spot. I tried to get cute and fade the Broncos last week versus the Browns, and that went pretty lopsided. It looked all right until DTR got knocked out of the game, and then it was pretty much downhill from there. Literally knocked out of the game.
That was a legal hit too.
That was an old school hit, man. He was clean, just wham, just rocked him. But
they threw the flag, but whatever. Yeah, that was nasty.
I get that this is a letdown spot, and that's why you're seeing this number at 3.5. But I think that's a little too much. Like if it were at -2, I would take the Texans. So it's kind of pulling hairs with this one. I'm playing the number. I like the Broncos plus 3.5. It's the value side, in my opinion. Keeping it hot. Even if they lose by a field goal, we're good. And I think that's doable. I think it's doable.
Yeah, I think Broncos win this one outright. So I love the 3.5. I don't love it enough to put a double unit on it because it does seem kind of like a
trap, a little bit.
Well, it seems a little trappy. It seems like you could see some, but it's which one are you fading? I just don't think that people still don't believe in this Broncos team, and people love CJ. So I do still think the value and the public I think the public will come in on CJ at home, even giving up 3.5. But I mean, Broncos and Sean Payton and Russ, that defense, like they've all improved. The running game, everything's improved. And CJ, he probably, yeah, I mean, 1 yard closer, you go into overtime with Jacksonville. You just can never count him out. I can't.
It's unbelievable.
I can't believe what he's doing. I really can't. It's amazing, and it is a little bit of a quarterback mismatch at this point, in my opinion. I mean, CJ looks way better than Russell Wilson, even though the stats are.
Russell is playing some clean football right now. Like these corner end zone pass, I think he did it to Cortland Sutton a few weeks ago, but then that Troutman guy again, like he is just,
it's all about the defense.
He's rolling out
and he's taking care of the football.
Yeah, he's
running the ball, and he's just
it's super clean. He's not out. Right. He's not trying to overplay. Like he just takes what they give him, and sometimes it's just taking a sack or throwing the ball down. Like he's just doing the right decision every time. It's insane.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Broncos defense in this one. So I will put a unit and a half on Denver here to cover the 3.5. Like I said, I do think that they're going to win the game outright because I see it being a lower scoring game. I don't think it'll be a shootout. And yeah, just fade a little bit of the CJ hype. Broncos have been creating a lot of turnovers here lately, and CJ, he's only thrown like 2 picks all year, so maybe you see a little bit of the growing pains that he's got to have at some point in the season in this one. So yeah, give me Broncos plus 3.5 at a unit and a half play.
I'll just do a regular unit. I don't think I said, but the line seems too much of like a gimme, and that's the only reason I'm gonna just stay at a regular unit because it just seems so obvious. Like, why would I not, with the way the things have been going, take Denver plus 3.5 right here? So I don't know. I'll take it at a regular unit, but I still like it. I mean, I think they could win outright, like you're saying. The way they're playing, they can do it. But that's it for this 1 o'clock slate. Make sure to tune in to the primetime spot where we go over the rest of the games in this Week 13 slate. Thanks for tuning in. As always, let's cover the spread. Peace.
Peace.